Hello and good morning. The title of my book is I Survived the American Revolution, 1776. Author Lauren Toshish, illustrated by Scott Dawson. Genre action and adventure. Main setting Brooklyn, New York. Main character Nathaniel Fox. This book is about an 11-year-old orphan named Nathaniel Fox, who found himself in a bloody, brutal war. His mother got sick and died, and his father was swept off his boat in a storm. Therefore, Nate had to live with his mean Uncle Storch. Uncle Storch owned 2 slaves who lived with him, Eliza and Theo. Theo was only 3 years old. Nate always helped Eliza keep Theo quiet so Storch wouldn't sell him like he sold Eliza's husband, Gregory. Little Theo threw a stick that hit Uncle Storch. Nate was afraid Storch would sell Theo, so he took the blame. Storch then grabbed Nate by the throat and started choking him. Nate punched Storch in the side of the head, and Storch fell to the ground. And Nate ran away. Nate had to decide whether to go back or not. Nate remembered a story his father once told him about a young boy who ran away and got a job on a ship as a cabin boy. That's what Nate decided to do. He was going to run away to New York and get himself a job. Nate snuck on a ship and landed in New York. What he didn't realize was that he landed right in the middle of a war. The American cannons and British warships were firing at one another. Nate was running, trying to get somewhere safe. He finally got to the grass clearing full of tents. It was when he ran to Paul Dobbins. Paul was an old shipmate of his father's boat. Paul was telling Nate about the war they are fighting and how important it is because they are fighting for their new free country. Paul asked Nate to become a camp helper and join the fight. Nate learned more about the Declaration of Independence. It said that all men were created equal, but wondered why that didn't apply to Eliza, Theo, or the men digging trenches for George Washington. Nate met George Washington when he came to the camp to give a war speech. King George hired 8,000 German soldiers to fight alongside the British. They were known as Hessians. Not long after becoming part of the camp, there was an outbreak of smallpox. Many soldiers had died. The Connecticut 5th was the camp that Nate was working with. They were ordered to relieve Pennsylvania soldiers who had been on duty for 3 days straight. They were ambushed by the Hessians. Nate was trapped in a horrible gunfight between American and British troops. Over the next few months, Nate sees terrible things. Thousands of American troops were either dead or dying from war and disease. In the end, there were a few battles won. These battles took place in Trenton and Princeton, New Jersey. Although these were small victories, they made a big difference. Nate finds out that his Uncle Storch had died of smallpox, and since he was the only living relative, all Storch's property belonged to him. Nate hoped that he would give Eliza and Theo their freedom papers. But were they alive? Were they still living at Uncle Storch's house? Did Uncle Storch sell them? A few of the people from the camp helped Nate plan a trip back to Norwalk, but Nate had no idea what he was returning to. My favorite part of the book was learning that Nate was getting all of Storch's property. He really deserved it. I thought that the book was fun to read because the unexpected could happen. Each chapter left you thinking, what's going to happen next? I would recommend this book because there is a lot of action and adventure. Thank you.